Good evening. For those who don't know me, my name is Werner Steger. I'm a professor of history here at Dutchess Community College, and it's a privilege to welcome all of you to tonight's event. We know that this event is also live streamed, and I want to welcome those who were not able to come and who are watching, at home on their computers. I'd like to thank the entire staff of the Jewish Federation of Dutchess County, as well as Dutchess Community College, for collaborating on tonight's ceremony. The Yom HaShoah Committee members, Cantor Devorah Gardner, Karen Hochhauser, Jeff Gross, Muriel Horowitz, and Paula Reckes. A very special thanks goes to committee members Paula Reckes and Jeff Gross, who are sponsoring a reception in the Ritz Lounge following this event. So after this event, after the commemoration is over, you just walk right across into the Ritz Lounge, and there will be food set up, hopefully. Of course, the young people of Temple Beth El and Congregation Shomrei Israel, who will once again participate in tonight's event. And thank you to Dutchess Community College, my college, for continuing to make this space available for us year after year, and we have been doing this now for the past 20 years or so here at DCC. Tonight's theme is learning and legacy, a theme that implies passing memory work on to future generation. What makes tonight so special, I think, in this regard is not only that we have young students from Temple Beth El and Congregation Shomrei Israel as participants and presenters, but six students from the City of Poughkeepsie High School. This is a first and a departure from previous ceremonies, and I think an important one. Learning and legacy must imply reaching out beyond our local Jewish communities to counter what I still consider a remarkable lack of knowledge and awareness about the Shoah among Americans under the age of 30. I read about this lately, which I guess defines Generation Z. And this was already prevalent with the previous generation, with the millennials, right? According to Politico magazine, members of Gen Z also overwhelmingly have negative attitudes towards Israel as a Jewish state in this country, and it raises the question, I think, whether low awareness of the Shoah and hostility to Israel are sort of connected and sort of go hand in hand. So every year around this time, the Anti-Defamation League releases its audit for the previous year. The numbers of anti-Semitic incidents for the 2025 calendar year are not out yet. At least I have not seen them, but I'm sure they will once again be sobering. As I mentioned last year, we can no longer claim that this spike in anti-Semitic incidents is temporary, but this seems to be now a permanent reality which Jewish communities in the country and abroad, obviously, are forced to confront and live with. And I just want to recall an incident. I don't know how many of you, is anybody here who heard what happened in Munich last week, Thursday night in Munich? It's interesting, right? It wasn't reported in the United States at all. Last Thursday night, explosives were attached to the windows of an Israeli restaurant in Munich called the Eclipse. And they were detonated, right? They were attached and they were detonated. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but for some neighbors, the shattered glass reminded them of the night of broken glass. And of course, most people know that Munich was the capital of Hitler's Nazi movement. But the reaction of the neighbors last Thursday differed greatly from their predecessors 88 years earlier. Immediately, a crowd of 500 gathered in solidarity with the restaurant owners, and the restaurant was packed with diners for the weekend. And I saw photos of diners sitting at tables inside next to windows that were sort of patched up with duct tape. The glass was patched up with duct tape and, a makeshift style. So this story of anti-Semitic violence ends with a sense of uplift, hope, and civic courage, right? I mean, you go to a restaurant that was just bombed, 12 hours earlier, and you go and eat there, right? So Holocaust and Heroism Remembrance Day, known colloquially in Israel and abroad as Yom HaShoah, starts tonight with sundown. We started tonight with sundown and will last until tomorrow night. Yom HaShoah was inaugurated in 1953 as an official holiday in Israel, but has been since observed the world over. There's not a precise blueprint for the ceremony, though the lighting of memorial candles and the recital of the Kaddish, the prayer for the departed, are the most common features. Yom HaShoah is always scheduled during the week following the end of the Passover holiday in remembrance of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, which took place during the Passover holiday in 1943. So on this day, we remember the victims, those who perished in this cataclysm of violence that the Nazis unleashed against Europe's Jews. And we honor the survivors. There are still some who bore witness and whose stories embody important lessons for future generations. And we also remember heroism and resistance. But I always like to add that the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising also coincided with the so-called Bermuda Conference, when in 1943, high-ranking American and British officials met in Bermuda to discuss the refugee situation in Europe at a time when there were no more refugees. So we also remember then a world that looked on passively in the 1940s. So we want to start our ceremony, and I'm calling on Rabbi Shlomo Krasner of Shomrei Israel, who will introduce the lighting of the memorial candles.
Thank you, Dr. Steger. These 6 memorial candles represent the 6 million Jews who perished in the Shoah, the Holocaust. They are lit by survivors and their descendants in their memory. As it has been more than 80 years, most of the survivors have passed away. We are grateful for the precious time we had with them, mourn their loss, and are committed to keeping their stories alive. Each of these candle lighters will share the name and a brief memory of their loved ones.
The first candle will be lit by Marlene Strauss.
I'd like to light this candle in memory of all those who have died and perished in unnecessary world conflicts of past, present, and I hope not future.
The second candle will be lit by Miriam Zimmet Aaron.
I light this candle in memory of my grandparents, Anna and Herman Zimmet, whom I never met since they died in Auschwitz.
The third candle will be lit by Cantor Devorah Gardner.
I light this candle in memory of my Tante Meta, my Uncle Izzy, and my Uncle Aaron, who survived the camps, and my great-grandmother Esther, for whom I am named, and who was a partisan in the forest outside of Bruskerev, where our village was.
The fourth candle will be lit by Jeff Gross.
I'm lighting this candle in memory of my mother and her two sisters who survived Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen together, and for their brother and parents and many, many aunts and uncles who did not survive.
The fifth candle will be lit by Gila, Jacob, and Ari Rekes.
So we are lighting in memory of our 4 grandparents and 2 great-grandparents who survived, their extended family who did not. And I also wanted to note my grandfather, whose birthday in Yahrzeit is today, and whose curiosity and patience are the reason we know so much about their stories.
The sixth candle will be lit by Paula and Ozzy Rekes.
Well, we light the candles in memory of many of our grandparents and the families of our parents that did not survive. Fortunately, as Gila said, that our parents did survive, but only in part, and suffered and remembered the whole time about this tragedy and the loss of all their family members.
A candle in the memory of the righteous Gentiles will be lit by Ashalet Gooden and Keisha Ray Jones.
We light this candle in remembrance of the righteous Gentiles who placed their own lives in danger during the Holocaust for the sake of our persecuted and murdered Jewish brothers and sisters. Where there were no human beings, they were human. We honor their memory.
I'd like to call on Amelie Goldschmidt, who will read There Are Stars by Hannah Shenis. Amelie.
There Are Stars by Hannah Shenis. There are stars whose light reaches the earth only after they themselves have disintegrated and are no more. And there are people whose scintillating memory lights the world after they have passed from it. These lights which shine in the darkest night are those which illumine for us the path.
I'd like to call on Rabbi Adam Serino Jones, who will sing in Hebrew and English Eli, Eli, words by Hannah Zenes, and the music by David Zehavi. Celine Pallone will now read from the Diary of Anne Frank. She's from the Kulanu School of Temple Beth El. I should say Amelie was also from the Kulanu School of Temple Beth El. Okay. All right. Oops. What am I making? Go all the way. Can you see? Can you see?
It's fine.
Okay. Why don't you read? I can hold it for you, okay?
The following excerpt is taken from the diary of Anne Frank during the period she lived in hiding with her family in Amsterdam. She made the final entry on August 1st, 1944. July 15th, 1944. It's utterly impossible for me to build my life on a foundation of chaos, suffering, and death. I see the world being slowly transformed into a wilderness. I hear the approaching thunder that one day will destroy us too. I feel the suffering of millions, and yet when I look up at the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for the better, that this cruelty too will end. Perhaps the day will come when I'll be... Oh, I must hold on to my ideas. Perhaps the day will come when I'll be able to realize them.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'll call on Leila Ritz, Congregation Shomrei Israel and Temple Beth El, who will read The Butterfly by Pavel Friedman.
The last, the very last, so richly, brightly, dazzling yellow, perhaps if the sun's tears would sing against a white stone, such a yellow, is carried lightly way up high. It went away, I'm sure, because it wished to kiss the world goodbye. For 7 weeks I've lived here, penned up inside this ghetto, but I have found my people here. The dandelions call to me, and the white chestnut candles in the court. Only I never saw another butterfly. That butterfly was the last one. Butterflies don't live here, in the ghetto.
Call on Noah Pallone, who will read from Tomorrow I Shall Be Sad by Motley. And Noah is also from the Kulanu School of Temple Beth El.
Thank you. This poem is from Tomorrow I Shall Be Sad by Motley. From tomorrow on I shall be sad, from tomorrow on. but today I shall be glad. What is the use of sadness? Tell me that. Because these evil winds begin to blow, why should I grieve for tomorrow, today? Tomorrow may be so good, so sunny. Tomorrow the sun may shine for us again. We shall no longer need to be sad. From tomorrow on, I shall be sad. From tomorrow on, not today, no. Today I will be glad, and every day, no matter how bitter it is, I will say, from tomorrow on I shall be sad, not today.
And Ari Lev Goldschmidt will read from Elie Wiesel's On Learning, also Temple Beth El.
There is divine beauty in learning. To learn means to accept the postulate that life did not begin at my birth. Others have been here before me, and I walk in their footsteps. The books which I have read were composed by generations of fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, teachers and disciples. I am the sum total of their experiences, their quests. And so are you. Whatever you think in life, think higher and feel deeper. Elie Wiesel.
Okay, where are we? Okay, keynote. All right. So it's my pleasure now to introduce this evening's speakers, Ashalet Gooden and Keisha Ray Jones. Ashalet Gooden is a dedicated educator and lifelong learner who was born and raised in Poughkeepsie, New York. She is currently in her 4th year of teaching at Poughkeepsie High School, where she teaches English 9, Holocaust literature, Gothic literature, creative writing, and academic intervention services. In addition to her work in the classroom, she serves as the advisor for the Multicultural Club, where she fosters inclusivity, cultural awareness, and student leadership. Ashalet earned her Associates of Arts in Liberal Arts from Dutchess Community College. That's something that makes me happy. Followed by a Bachelor of Arts in English from SUNY Old Westbury. She later obtained her Master of Science in Education, along with a certification in special education from Dominican University. Keisha Ray Jones has chosen a second career, so that teaching is her second career, as a teacher at Poughkeepsie High School, which has brought her great enjoyment. A native of Harlem, raised in Jersey. She also gained plenty of life experience in the Bronx. She received her BA in sociology from Mercy College and is working on receiving her master's in education from SUNY New Paltz. And as of 2026, Keisha Ray Jones has been teaching, I think, at Poughkeepsie High School for 3 years, where she teaches 9th grade ELA and Holocaust literature. Aside from her teaching, she coaches modified track for Poughkeepsie High School. Right now, I also want to officially introduce the students that Ashalet and Keisha Ray brought. There is Olu Akintunde, there's Kyle Duncan, Erlin Jimenez Rodriguez, Kashina Justice Gauze, Sherry Ortiz, and Sophia Zero. So if you all want to come up and take it away.
Yeah. Thank you. You guys could just come by. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here. So my name is Ashalet Gooden. I am an English teacher at Poughkeepsie High School. This is year 4. And this is actually my first year teaching Holocaust literature. And I had the profound responsibility of taking 50 students from my Holocaust literature classes to the United States Memorial Museum of Holocaust in Washington, D.C. For many of my students, this was more than just a field trip. It was a way for them to connect with history personally. It was extremely important for me to create this trip because, hold on guys, I'm so sorry, it's like sensitive for me.
it was important for me to create this trip because I feel like it's important for students to learn about the Holocaust beyond textbooks. It was a very sad experience, but also very humbling. And overall, I wanted students to learn the consequences of hatred.
Hello, my name is Keisha Ray Jones, and I first want to start by saying thank you for having us. As you already know, I'm an ELA teacher for 9th graders, and I was kind of thrown into, as a surprise, you are now teaching an elective Holocaust literature. What are you talking about? Okay? Most of us, we have the basic knowledge of the Holocaust. What, when, how. Just the basics. Nothing beyond that. Lacking the utmost of no empathy at all. So I think that's why a lot of the young ones, they just don't get it. How this diabolical thing could have happened not so long ago. We have grandparents and great-grandparents living. So thank God for Miss Gooden. She said, I got you. Come on, be a chaperone for this museum. And wow, I could not say anything because now it was like a light went off. Now it was expressing and understanding what, when, how, as the world watched this disgusting thing happen. So now what I had to do was to change how I was going to present this elective because I wanted the kids to feel it, to see it, to understand it, and have empathy for it, no matter what you believe. These are humans, these were children, these were somebody's mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers. So to my benefit, the students that did go was able to share their passports with me so that this way I can bring it back to the students so that they can read and put themselves in it. How would they feel? What would they do? What was going on? And for some of them, just the gasping of air when some of their passports, that beautiful individual died or was murdered, making them think, wow, what hatred can really do. Along with that, we were able to give them notes with the picture of the shoes, so that this way they can constantly remember what has happened. I feel from this point on, I hope all teachers, educators that have to do this class see the museum first and understand and have empathy. So this way they know which way to go. So thank you very much for sharing.
Good evening, everyone. Slide 3, please. 2. Next. Thank you. My name is Oluwatomininu David Akintunde, and I'm a senior in Poughkeepsie High School. Visiting the Holocaust Memorial Museum was an incredible, educative, and emotional experience for me. The stories, artifacts, and photographs broadened my understanding way beyond what I have learned and been taught in the classroom. Walking through the exhibits, I was confronted with the harsh reality of the cruelty millions of innocent people had to endure, which drastically altered the way they lived. And I was especially drawn to the Tower of Faces, where a plethora amount of photographs which displayed Jewish families. This exhibit displayed how Jewish families lived their everyday lives, sisters, brothers, dad, mom, couples. And upon seeing these pictures, it made me feel sad thinking about how their future and their lives were taken from them. Seeing this picture also reminded me about how important it is to honor the victims and how preservation of history really is important. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kyle Duncan. I am a senior at Poughkeepsie High School. I was really thrilled to experience and take an amazing tour of the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. My experience there was very emotional and immersive. It designed me to personalize the genocide through artifacts and people's personal stories. The identification card system had to be my favorite exhibit of the whole trip, to be honest. It actually taught and encouraged me to move beyond the scale of the Holocaust, and that is what really impacted me. The way how it worked was that we all, as the visitors there, received a card with a photo and like a biographical sketch of a real person and even a child who lived during the Holocaust. The cards, in my opinion, created a connection between detailing people's lives, experiences, and ultimate fates, and transforming abstract numbers into a personal remember natives. Thank you all.
Hi, my name is Erlin. I'm a sophomore at Poughkeepsie High School. So when I went on the Holocaust Memorial Museum trip in Washington, D.C., the exhibit that stood out the most to me was the Tower of Faces. The Tower of Faces is a 3-story tower filled with faces from a town in Lithuania. This specific exhibit stood out to me the most because I could see how people were living at the time, and they had like iPads where you can see the picture in color, and it gives you a backstory on the person and how they were living before the Holocaust took place. And honestly, it was like a bittersweet experience because, you get to see the backstory, but it's also sad because most of them didn't end up surviving. And as an immigrant, it made me upset because I know how hate towards a minority group feels, especially with what's going on in the country right now. And although it's not as serious as what happened to the Jewish people during the Holocaust, it's still like upsetting to see that stuff like that could still happen today. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kashina Justice Gauls. I'm a senior at Poughkeepsie High School. And the exhibit that impacted me the most was the Remember the Children Daniel story. It was an interactive exhibit about a little boy, his name is Daniel, and his perspective of the Holocaust. He had like documentaries and diary entries and things alike. This part of the museum definitely stuck with me the most because I have 2 nieces that are around Daniel's age, and it's very disheartening for me to even fathom my nieces or anybody fearing to walk outside because they don't want to be kidnapped or tortured or murdered. So that exhibit definitely evoked some sad feelings out of me. But that museum and the exhibit altogether definitely taught me to be more aware of just how bad hatred, like the consequences of hating somebody for no reason or just because you don't like the way they think or act or look. And I just feel like everybody should be more aware of how they treat people, how they talk to people, because you never know what's going on. And you never really know how far people are willing to go to get back at you for saying what you feel or whatever the case may be. So, yeah.
Good evening. My name is Cherie Ortiz, and when I visited the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, the shoe exhibit stood out to me the most because it made everything feel real in a way that school never did. Seeing all the worn shoes piled together was honestly overwhelming, and it made me think about how each pair belongs to a real person, not just a number in history. It made the Holocaust feel more personal and emotional for me. As a student from Poughkeepsie High School, it really changed how I see things because it showed me how important it is to speak up against hate and not just ignore it. It made me realize that history isn't just something to memorize. It's something we're supposed to learn from so it doesn't happen again.
Hello, my name is Sophia. I'm a sophomore at Poughkeepsie High School. I'm 16 years old. When I went to the Holocaust Memorial Museum and walking through all the exhibits just made me feel honestly sick to my stomach, just thinking how people could have such a deep hatred towards a group of people just because of their race or their beliefs. And honestly, it's just awfully sickening. It made me really open my eyes to see how the world can really be a horrible place and how cruel people could really be. It made me realize there's bigger problems in the world than people think. It's so sad to think about like everyone who lived during the Holocaust having to fear for their lives. They had to watch their back every second, having to hide and having to worry about just to live, just to walk through the streets, just to get food. And when I left the museum, I just felt a change in my perspective of how I see the world, and it was overall just a sad and eye-opening experience, and I'm really glad I got to see that and got to see the full story, because not a lot of people get educated on certain things like this, and I'm really glad I got to. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, seniors, am I going to see you at Dutchess Community College in the fall? So you could be my first 4 students. So talk to me afterwards if you feel like it. Thank you so much. And I have a quick question because I have the microphone, so I can do that. It said that you did a day trip to the Holocaust Memorial. So you left in the morning, you drove, then you did the museum, and then you drove back?
Yeah, we left at 7:30 a.m. and we returned at 1:30 a.m.
Well, that alone is heroic. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. With 50 students.
50 students and 6 chaperones.
Okay. I hope you got a good night's sleep after that. So, okay. Well, thank you so much for this enlightening contribution. I'd like to call on Sophia Zero from Poughkeepsie High School again. I Must Be Saving These Days by Martha, she will read.
I must be saving these days. I have no money to save. I must save health and strength, enough to last me for a long while. I must save my nerves and my thoughts and my mind and the fire of my spirit. I must be saving the tears that flow. I shall need them for a long, long while. I must save endurance these stormy days. There is so much I need in life, warmth of feeling and a kind heart. These things I lack, of these things I must be saving. All these gifts, the gifts of God, I wish to keep. How sad it should be if I lost them so quickly.
I'd like to call on Ezra Van Dodik from Temple Beth El, and he will read At My Bar Mitzvah and his by Rabbi Howard Kahn.
When I was 13, I became a bar mitzvah. When I was 13, my teachers taught me to put tefillin on my arm. When I was 13, I studied the pathways of the Bible and the roadways of the Talmud. At my bar mitzvah, I took an oath to live as a Jew. At my bar mitzvah, I blessed God. At my bar mitzvah, I lifted my voice and sang. At my bar mitzvah, I read from the scroll of the Torah. At my bar mitzvah, I wore a new talit over a new suit. At my bar mitzvah, I started my road to life. At my bar mitzvah, friends and family came up to me to say l'chaim. At my bar mitzvah, they praised my voice, my song, my melody. When I was 13, I was called to the Torah. I went up to the bima. When I was 13, I became a bar mitzvah and lived.
Thank you. And Rabbi Glenn Jacob for Yizkor. Not yet? Oh. I don't have it on my program though. Okay. I can make adjustments. Okay.
No, that's all right. Sorry about that. From Psalm 65, Lecha dumiyah tehillah Elohim, to you, O God, silence is praise.
Now it's Rabbi Jacob's term from Congregation Shir Chadash.
We are on page 7. Avinu Malkeinu, power, God of the spirits of all flesh, give proper rest upon the wings of the divine presence, on the levels of the holy and the pure ones who shine like the splendor of the firmament, for the souls of the 6 million Jews, men and women, boys and girls that were exterminated and slaughtered and asphyxiated and buried alive by the hands of the enemy monsters in the exile called Europe. All of them are holy and pure. Among them were the luminaries and righteous people, cedars of Lebanon and giants of Torah. Let their rest be in the Garden of Eden. Hence, merciful God, bind their souls with the binding of life. God is their inheritance. And remember for us their sacrifice, and let their merit stand for us and for all Israel. Let the earth not cover their blood, and let there not be a place sufficient for their cries. In their merit, Let the dispersed of Israel return to their possession, and let the holy ones be in everlasting memory, their righteousness in front of your eyes. May they come to peace and rest upon their places of repose. And we say together, Amen.
And Rabbi Miriam Hyman, oh, there she is, okay, Temple Beth El for El Malay Rachamim for the 6 million.
Please rise. So for the students who are here, and some of my students know the word rachamim means compassion. And we talked about what is compassion. Compassion is when you can look at another person and understand how they feel and understand it from a very deep human place. And that was something that was absent during the Holocaust and seems to be a quality that may be also not as present in our world as we might like right now. And the way that we bring it into the world, this rachamim, this compassion, is each one of us to one another every day. El male rachamim, shochen bamromim, hamzei menucha nechona, tachat kanfei hashechina, b'malot kedoshim utorim, kezohar harakia mazhirim, et nishmot kol achienu b'nei Yisrael, anashim, nashim v'tav, שנתברכו ושנחנקו ושנשרפו ושנהרגו בגן עדן תהי מנוחתם אנא בעל הרחמים הסתירם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים וצרור בצרור חיים את נשמותיהם, אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו ושלום על משכבותיהם, ונאמר amen. God, full of compassion, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure, to the souls of all of our brethren who perished in the Shoah, men, women, and children of the house of Israel who were slaughtered, suffocated, and burned to ashes. May their memory endure and inspire deeds of charity and goodness in our lives. May their souls be thus bound up in the bond of life. May they rest in peace. And we say, Amen.
Rabbi Michael Fessler, Temple Beth El, will lead us in the Kaddish of Remembrance.
Thank you. Remain standing if we're able. Together. It Gadal, Auschwitz, Bi Gadal, Lodz, Shmei Rabbah, Ponar, Be'alma Divra Chirute, Babiyar, V'yamlech Malchute, Madanek. B'chayechon v'yomechon birkanau, b'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael kovno, b'agala v'zman kariv yonovska v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach l'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach Theresienstadt, v'yipa'ar v'yitromam Buchenwald, v'yinaseh v'yitadar Treblinka, v'yitaleh v'yitala Vilna. Shmei de Kudesha, Brechu, Bergen-Belsen, Leila, Mauthausen, Vinkol Birchata, Vishirata, Dachau, Tush Bechata, Venechemata, Minsk, Damiran Be'alma, Warsaw, Bimru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, Bechaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Bimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'momav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen.
And Rabbi Jeffrey Stoneball from Vassar Temple will read the legacy. Oh. Oh. And you're allowed to sit down.
At this time, I'd like to invite all of the students who participated and all of the clergy who have participated in this ceremony to join me on the stage. Thanks for being here tonight. Thank you for being here tonight. You can just keep going. Just go ahead and walk all the way across, make a line. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Just go ahead and just make a nice big line. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for being here tonight. Thanks for being here tonight. Just keep walking all the way down. Make one big line here. Just a few more people. There's a lot of participation tonight. Tonight, we take an oath. We take it in the shadow of flames whose tongues sear the soul of our people. We vow in the names of our dead grandparents, parents, and children. We vow with our sadness hidden, our faith renewed. We take an oath. Vision becomes word to be handed down from father to son, from mother to daughter, the door by door, from generation to generation. Remember what the Nazi killers and their accomplices did to our people. Remember what an indifferent world did to us and itself. Remember the victims with pride and with sorrow. We shall also remember the miracle of the Jewish rebirth in the land of our ancestors, in the independent state of Israel. Here, pioneers and fighters returned to our people the dignity and the majesty of nationhood. At the end of our days, we shall remember all those who realized and raised their dream, our dream of redemption in the loftiest heights. Also remembering the deeds of the righteous Gentiles. We take this oath today, let our legacy endure as a stone of the temple wall in Jerusalem, where our prayers and memories burn. They burn and will not be consumed. Inviting everyone who is able to continue with me to please raise in body and spirit, depending on your ability, as we join together in the acceptance. Together, we accept the obligation of the legacy. We are the generation born after the darkness. Through our parents' and grandparents' memories, words, and silence, we are linked to the annihilated Jewish existence whose echoes permeate our consciousness. We dedicate this pledge to you, our families and friends who suffered and survived, to our grandparents, to all those who perished in flames, to our vanished young brothers and sisters, more than 1 million Jewish children so brutally murdered, to all 6 million whose unyielding spiritual and physical resistance, even in the camps and ghettos, exemplifies our people's commitment to life. We pledge to remember. We shall to our children to preserve forever that uprooted Jewish spirit which could not be destroyed.
Tell the world the depth to which humanity can sink and the heights
which were attained even in hell itself. We shall fight anti-Semitism and all forms of racism and hatred by our dictation to freedom throughout the world. We affirm our commitment to the State of Israel and to the furtherance of Jewish life in our homeland. We pledge ourselves to the oneness of the Jewish people. We are all your children. We are here. You may be seated.
And now it's time for Karen Hochhauser, Executive Director of the Jewish Federation of Dutchess County, and, may I say it, the Queen of the Jews. Okay, all right.
It is with great honor and responsibility and a heaviness of the heart, but that we come together. But we do thank everybody who has been here today. Especially thank you to all of our Poughkeepsie High School teachers and students. There's a word beshert, which some think of it as soulmate, but the other interpretation I like is it was meant to be. It was meant to be, we almost say like in Passover, Dayenu, it would have been enough. It would have been enough if I was on my phone looking at Facebook. But through that, I saw the posting about this amazing teacher who brought these amazing students to an experience that they said was transformational and impacted them. And I said, this overwhelmed me. So I reached out to different people. I said, please put me in contact. And so we met, and it was just, we said, please come share your experience with us. And there's even more connection if it was meant to be, because one of our speakers, I'm not going to embarrass you, but is the granddaughter of Bishop Gauze, who is my sister. And last year, love you, and last year was our righteous Gentile lighting the candle. So it is in this own respect, Lador Vador, from generation to generation. And when I met with Ashalet and Kaisha Ray, I said, what is your wish list? If we can do anything, we know we are stronger together as a community. And they said they had 3 things that they wanted. The first thing they said, we would love to get the book Mouse, because as much as Elie Wiesel and Night is a good book, students, no offense to you guys, are like, it's too many words, right? But we said, we want to see Mouse. And so what happens is I talk, and I spoke to Paula Reckes, and the Reckes family said, we'll buy it. And so 50 books were delivered to Poughkeepsie High School, so they have Mouse for this class and for going forward. So thank you, Reckes family. And then there was Wish 2. And Wish 2 was, they said, we could have some posters. And I said, wait, I think in the office we have some posters. So can I ask you to at least come up so I can present you with the posters that you have for this year? So we previously created this storyboard of posters that you can see in the lobby. And I was told this is the perfect size for the classrooms. So in it, it shares how it starts with the propaganda and the Kristall Nacht, and then moves on to the Warsaw Ghetto and the transportation of the camps and the identification. And separately, we do have the victims and pictures, but we did do this separately in case it was too much, and the teacher said, no, this is what we need, if I quote you. And then lastly, where we had Eisenhower saying, we need to record this because people won't believe it happened. And then we remember, and we are here tonight because we remember. So these posters are going to be proudly hanging in Poughkeepsie High School. So we are so happy that you asked. We are so happy we could help. So we give you that. And then what was number 3 on the wish list? The funds. So it happens that not every class is going to be able to go to Washington, D.C., and as exhausting as it is, but thanks to the Rabbi Irwin Zimmit Memorial Institute, if I got all the names correct, and Miriam Aaron Zimmet is here. We are going to be funding their trip to New York City's Museum Holocaust in the coming school year. So sometimes, if you ask, and this is really what we are very happy about. We're here together because we are here creating community and we are stronger together. So I really thank you all for coming. I thank you for presenting. I am thinking the kids did such a great job that we may have to do like pizza party or something for them to reward them, because you used your outside voices and spoke very slowly. So thank you, thank you. And let's give them another round of applause. Thank you.
Now, Kenta Devorah Gardner, and she will lead us into Hatikva.
So, this is my 10th year as youth and clergy liaison. It's about my 35th year of teaching Holocaust. And I want to teach you guys a word in Hebrew. Everybody say ha. Means the. Everybody say tikva. Means hope. That's the name of the national anthem of Israel, but I want to tell you that listening to you all gives me hope that we have ambassadors who will go out after having learned about the tragedy that happened with the Shoah and try to prevent those kinds of tragedies from happening again. So thank you with all of our hearts for everything that you have brought to this evening. If I could invite, please, my fellow clergy up to join so that we can do Hatikva with all of you. And I'll invite you all who are able to do so to rise. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down. Ready? Kol od balevav benima nefesh Yehudi homiya ulfate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia, O Lord, tikvatenu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam chofshi be'artzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Liotam chofshi be'artzenu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Reception is across. Oh.